Well, hello there and welcome to this webinar on the compounding business growth formula. My name's Neil Sinclair. I'm the founder and chairman of LibAbun Business Coaching and Training. We're obviously a small business coaching and training company that specialises in helping companies grow, automate and thrive. So let's just get on with it, shall we? I just want to start off with a little bit about myself first. For those that don't know me, look, anyone that knows me, they know I'm a family man first and a business owner second. I've been married since 1985 to my childhood sweetheart, who I met at high school at the age of 15. Started going out with her then. I'm a husband, father and grandfather. I did 19 years service in the Royal New Zealand Air Force, in the military there. During that time I also studied for a Bachelor's in Commerce degree in Marketing Advanced Strategic Management, because I always knew that when I left the military I was going to start a career in my own business. Since then I have bought, built and sold 4 businesses. I'm now in my 5th company, and I've worked with well over 450 businesses around the world on helping them grow, automate and thrive as well. So that's it about me. So let's move on. Can I be your business coach for the rest of this presentation? It's really important you have an open mind today about how you can grow your business so that you open yourself up to other opportunities to work smarter and not necessarily harder. I ask you this question as the coach. Are you living up to your expectations in business and life? Okay, your success all depends on developing, the second letter there, which is you. So look, think about think back to when you started this business that you're in now. I mean, whether it was just recently or quite a few years ago. What was it you're looking to achieve? How are you, how are you going moving towards those original goals and vision of your business? Now, what's got in the way? What's slowed you down? What are the things that have been the barriers for you? What have you done there to improve things and keep working on yourself and a range of things there? So how are you working on you? Because, it's all about you in the end. You're the common denominator in your business. And look, for things to change in your business, there's a generalized principle here, which means that first you must change. So, if you think about it, the business you're in, whether it's just you as a self-employed person or a solopreneur, or you have a team of people, if you want the business to change, it's about changing the team and the way they operate, whether it's business systems, their skills, their attitude, their knowledge. There's a range of things you need to work on in order to get better at what you do so that you can work smarter and not necessarily harder in the business. So let me ask you a few questions here. What's your biggest challenges in developing your business to date? Okay, and I want you to stop here and think about this. Be completely honest with yourself. Answer the 4 questions here. List down 3 things stopping you getting the money that you want. What are the 3 things that you think are doing that? Well, just list down any 3 things. I want you to switch your brain on and think about these sort of things. So now let's take some ownership here. Okay, just list them down, but let's not blame other things or whatever. Let's find out some genuine reasons why we think that's happening. Second question. List down 3 things stopping you getting the best team. So whether that's around your leadership, or you're not sure how to recruit properly, or you don't feel you've got the right culture or the right vision, or whatever it is for you. So list down the 3 things stopping you from getting the best team. Third question is list down 3 things stopping you from having the time you want. Okay, so look, we all have the same amount of time during the day, but some people work part-time and some don't. Some seem to be more organised than others. So what is it for you? What's stopping you from having the time that you want on your day-to-day basis? And question 4, what's the biggest factor stopping you from being and doing more each day? Just think about that now, whether it's you're working too hard on the current things you're doing at the moment, you're not planning enough, you're not organised, you haven't got enough systems in the business, you need more team, you don't have enough funds to invest in those sort of things. What's the biggest factor stopping you from being and doing more there? Okay, so here's a great statement from an old mentor of mine, Jim Rome, and he says it really well, which is never wish life was easier, wish that you were better. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So what he's saying there is that pretty much, look, it's all about you, your knowledge, your skills and your attitude in order to do things a lot better so you can work smarter. So look, as you get more, think about it, if you get more proficient at what you do and better skilled at what you do, things become easier and you can actually do more with less. So it is about working on your mindset, your skill set, your attitude, the systems in your business, and a range of other things there as well. So great statement there from Jim Rome. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to educate you to think more entrepreneurially to help you see things differently in your business. Because look, the way you see your business at the moment is probably not reality, because you're very close to your business. It's the old cliche, you can't see the forest for the trees. You got your head right in there. and you're up close, and from time to time it pays to sit back, have someone like myself pull you out of the business and just say, look, let's take a look at this from a different perspective and from a different angle and from a different level, and say, is there a way of doing this a bit smarter? Rather than just going in there and working harder and trying to knuckle down and get things done, maybe there is a smarter way to do things. So today we're going to hopefully help you see that different light on ways of you growing your business and just to pull yourself back and think a bit differently. Now, the purpose of a business is to profitably create raving fans. Now, raving fans in your business should comprise of your customers, your employees, your suppliers, the community, and the shareholders, and all of their families as well. Of course, now think about that. So, it's not just about supplying money to the owner or owners, or people often say that the most important thing in the business is the customers. Well, it's not actually. It's you and your team. Okay, so the business has to service you and your team first and foremost. You do that through servicing customers, but in the end, if it doesn't service you and your team, it's not going to be around for very long. Okay, so it's got to actually support all 5 stakeholders in the business: your customers, employees, suppliers, community, and shareholders, and their associated families. Waste of time just supporting their families if the other 5 stakeholders are coming home every day and having a grumble about your business, etc., etc. So we want to profitably create raving fans in all sectors. You must learn how to every day envisage, design, and plan to engineer a better business that will profitably create raving fans. So look, this is like a sculpture. It's art and a science. You got to every day envisage and design and plan your business. So each week we want to be working on something in your business to help you take your business forward, not just do your day job. Okay, so we want to think about that, and this is certainly what we're going to be covering off today. Warren Buffett, great man, he's the owner of Berkshire Hathaway. He says it very well. It's not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, what he's saying is that, we want to be able to do things with systematic consistency. So look, if you've got good systems in your business and you've got good framework and business systems there in order to do things, whether it's a process or an automation system, or you've got a basic understanding or a traditional thing that you do, as long as it's working well, if you're doing those things systematically with consistency, then you can get absolutely extraordinary results. So you don't have to be extraordinary to get those extraordinary results. That's what he means by that statement there. The key to business success is grow and automate to thrive. Okay, so you've got to have some growth strategies in there to help you grow, but you've got to have some automation strategies as you're growing so that you can do more with less. Okay, and when you combine those two things together where you grow and automate, you will then start thriving in business. Okay, so now to do those things, to grow and automate, takes a focus, it takes discipline, it takes some training, and it takes some learning some new things in order to make those changes so that you can thrive in business. Another statement from Mr. Buffett. Okay, accounting is the language of business. If you can't speak the language, it's difficult to win the game. Now, look, I fully understand, and you probably understand as well, when Mr. Buffett's talking about accounting, he really is talking about financial accounts, okay, reporting. But I expand that even further, and I actually call it numerical mastery. So it's not just about your financial numbers, it's about your marketing numbers, it's about your sales numbers, it's about stock numbers, it's about team numbers. There's a whole lot of numbers in your business that your business is offering to you all the time. It's just a matter of whether you've got the radar on to actually pick up those signals that are coming at you, the information that's available to you, so you can make informed management decisions on the best ways to take your business forward. So yes, accounting is a big requirement, and we're going to discuss the numbers today in a lot of detail. Okay, but it's more than just accounting, more than just financial reporting. It's all your other numbers in your business as well. So let me ask you a question. Are you driving your business role without a dashboard of your key indicators? Now look, you probably drove to work or your office today, unless you're working from home. Okay, so now look, if you drove to work today, then when you got in your car, you had a dashboard there, and you got the speedometer on there and the odometer, and you've got different dashes on there and different warning signals to make sure that your car is driving safely from your place to wherever it is you work. Okay, so, and it's designed to help you get there safely and legally within a legal speed and all those sort of things. Well, a business dashboard is no different. Okay, the business dashboard is there to help you take your business from where you are today to where you want to be as far as your goals, and to supply you and all the other 5 stakeholders with, you know, a great experience, so you're profitably creating those great raving fans in your business. Now, the point is here, if you haven't got a dashboard for your business, how are you measuring it? How are you measuring it? What are you doing to control those things on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and an annual basis? Okay, so we've got to have a business dashboard in place, and it takes time to set this up in order to, so that we can manage it correctly on those respective timelines. So today I'm going to talk to you about the compounding business growth formula that we use here at LibAbun to help businesses grow. Now, there's 8 key formulas in here, key factors. Now, you'll see that in the columns that are going down, so you'll see there's 8 points. Number 1 is number of leads. Number 2 is conversion rates. Those two combined equal the number of prospects in the business. Your prospects times your prospect conversion rate equals the number of customers. The number of customers times their average value sale, which is how much they spend each time, times the number of transactions they make every year, equals your annual revenues. Okay, your annual revenues times your gross margin equals your gross profit. Your gross profit times your net margin equals your net profit. And then your net profits times the monetary conversion strategies equals the amount of cash you get out of the business. Okay, so now look, I'm going to talk about all these different things and a range of different strategies throughout the course of today. A couple of things I want to point out on the slide that I want you to pay attention to. First of all, you'll see that the numbered features in there, so number of leads, conversion rates, they're all the number ones there in blue. These are the things that we can work on. There are literally dozens of strategies within each of these different categories. The areas of green, you'll see number of prospects, number of customers, revenues, gross profits, net profits, and cash. They are a result. You cannot directly change those results. Okay, you have to work on the previous blue features in order to change those green result areas. Okay, so it's an important distinction for you to make there as well. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen is a list of all the things that we need to work on the respective blue areas to the left. So, as an example, the number of leads and your conversion rate for leads conversion rate, we need to work on content marketing strategies and things to boost those from there. So, as you move down further, you can see so number of prospects and the conversion rate from prospects. We're talking about sales pipeline strategies. So, this is how we link all these things. And again, we've got dozens of strategies in each of these different areas to help you choose the best ones for you to help you grow their business. Now, overall at LibAbun here, we have over 500 business development strategies to help you grow, automate, and thrive in business. So this is the compounding formula that we're going to teach you today, and we're going to show you how to use this. And we're going to put some numbers into there and give you some examples of strategies in each of these different areas on how you can grow your business to help you really take control of your business and really get some fantastic growth over the next 12 months and beyond. Okay, so let's put some numbers to this. So look, I'm going to take a very small business here where we get a business that's got 4,000 leads. Now, that's about 80 leads a week. Now, depending on whether you're retail or something else, you might think, oh, well, 80 leads is a large amount. So you might not get 80 leads in a month if you're a service-based business, as an example. It doesn't matter. This is just an example. So the example I'm going to show you today is really suitable for anybody. You just need to put your numbers in here, and we're going to make an offer to you to do exactly that at the end of the webinar today. So look, 4,000 leads, and we'll say you have a 25% conversion rate. Now, what we've generally found is over the years, I've worked with hundreds of business owners. Okay, the average conversion rate is somewhere around between 15 and typically 30% for a lead generation. This is lead to prospect. Okay, might be even lower. Okay, so for some businesses, and occasionally a little bit higher, but not very often. So we're going to say 4,000 leads, 25% conversion rate. That equals 1,000 prospects. So what's the prospect between the difference between a lead and prospect? A lead is someone who's looking at your business. Okay, a prospect is someone that says, actually, I want to find out more information after they've been introduced to your business. In other words, they're entering into your sales pipeline. So from those 1,000 prospects, we're going to have a conversion rate again of 25%, and which means we're going to have 250 customers. So from the 250 customers, each customer on average spends £100 in this case. So it doesn't matter whether it's dollars, euros, or pounds. The same thing is it's the same for everyone here. Now that £100 there is an average. Some may only spend £5, others may spend £300, but the average is £100. And we will teach you ways of how you can measure this to come up with these figures so that you are making informed management decisions about this stuff as you go on. The next feature is the number of transactions. So in this case, So we've got 250 customers spending on average £100 each time they buy something, and they have an average number of transactions each year of 4. So in other words, they're buying from you on average 4 times a year. Now again, some may only buy once, others may buy 8 times, but you're going to have an average. Now, and for this case here, we can have a decimal, so it could be 4.5. 4.5 or 4.4 times a year. So it will average out, because if you have 250 customers, by the time you divide the total number of transactions for the business by your 250 customers on your database, you're going to end up with 4.8 or 3.2 or whatever the figure is anyway. So that's why I'm saying we want to use a decimal point. Now the 250 customers who each spend £100 each time, and they buy on average 4 times a year, that's a total revenues of £100,000 for the year. So this is a relatively small business. Okay, so now a gross margin. So as a business, you have a gross margin of 65%. So in other words, your cost of goods sold is 35%. So you have a gross margin of 65%, which means by the time you take your annual sales, you take out the cost of goods sold, so the cost of selling your widgets or the service you're doing, plus any commissions you have. That then leaves some money left over. So that is your gross margin. So in this case, your gross profits are £65,000. Times your net margin. So now this is all your other costs in your business, everything from electricity to rent to phones to internet to all the other costs in your business that aren't related directly to the sale. Then these fall under your under your operating expenses, which is where your net margin is calculated. So in this case here, we're saying, so after we take away cost of goods sold with £65,000 left, there's a £30% net margin, and that means our net profits are £19,500. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about monetary conversion in great detail today, but I will share some examples of what they are for you later on. Now, monetary conversion is how you go about getting your profits out of your business and turning that into cold, hard cash in your pocket. So, because, look, I'm sure you're aware, and I have separate video trainings on this, profit in your business is not cash. I know plenty of businesses that are profitable but have no cash flow, have no cash. Okay, so a good accountant will make any business look profitable. You might, well, where's that? Where is that? I don't have any cash. So as an example, depreciation increases your profitability, but it's not cash in hand. Okay, you could have made a sale, and your clients might have bought from you. They've got the goods, but they haven't paid you yet. So you haven't got the cash, but it's still technically profit, and the government wants you to pay tax on that profitability because you've made the transaction, but you haven't been paid yet. So now, if you're a business that's on accrual accounting, where it's invoice transactions rather than cash, then you have to pay that profitability whether you've received it from your suppliers or not. So if it's taking your customers 120 days to pay you, you're acting as their bank, and it's costing you a lot of money doing that. So, but look, there's a whole separate session on monetary conversion. Okay, so let's give you an example of how we grow these numbers. So let's take the first line there, which was generating new leads. So look, here's 3 quick strategies we talk about helping people generate more leads. Now look, I know there's a range of different businesses, and some of these strategies may not be specifically for your business, but they are an example of some of the things you can do. Just remember, we've got well over 50 strategies in each of these different categories in order to choose from, to find the right strategies for you to help you improve that particular area. But we're just going to share with you some examples today. So in this case here, the business is going to do more networking, a little bit more networking with some proper follow-up. So we're going to do a bit of that. We're going to do some digital marketing advertising. So whether they do it on social media channels like Facebook, they can do it through Google AdWords, as an example, is the 2 most common areas. And we're going to implement a referral system in the business. So we're going to ask happy customers if they can give us a referral. We're going to have a referral scheme for that. So do you think that if we did these 3 things here and did them properly, and we showed you how to do this properly, do you think you can boost your number of leads in your business, in this case here, from 4,000 by 10%, just 10%, which is to 4,400? So look, in this example today, what we're looking to do in year 1 is we're looking to grow each of these areas by just 10%. Okay, so we're going to apply 3 strategies in each area, looking for basically about a 3% gain from each strategy to give us a gain of 10% in each of the areas. Now look, I appreciate it for the simple sake of maths, that's why we're doing this. Now for some of these strategies, you might be able to only find a small gain or no gain. In other strategies, you'll be able to find bigger gains. So as an example, the biggest areas I find we get the biggest gains are focusing on conversion rates. as an example. So there's massive opportunities there in a number of different things. But that's just an example. So we apply those 3 strategies we've just shown. You get a 10% gain, takes our leads from 4,000 leads to 4,400. The next one, converting leads to prospects. So look, here's 3 strategies that we could, a business could do to help increase the conversion rate from leads to prospects. So segment your contact list so that you apply a nurturing system specific to that segmentation. So you don't send out all emails and all messages to everyone on your contact list, because most businesses are offering more than one service. So if people have only bought one particular product from you and they don't know about the other ones, then you might send out information just about the things they've bought or the things they haven't bought. But you want to segment your contact list in some way, shape or form and have a nurturing system for that, where you have 3 to 5 touches each time asking them to buy. Set up a lead scoring system so you deal with the hottest leads first. Now look, you can see on the screen there that we are a Keep and Infusionsoft by Keep partners. So there's a lead scoring system on that CRM system. We're encouraging everybody, doesn't matter what size business you are, to have a CRM system. So look, if you're a solopreneur, self-employed person, you can afford a good CRM system like Keep. As an example, they start from £39 a month. Okay, so different systems offer you different things, but you want to have a lead scoring system. Now, what that does is that you allow certain points for people to open emails, that click on things, that go to your website, and all these sort of things. And what that does is the lead scoring system will add more points to that particular contact as they do those things I've just mentioned. And when they get to a certain score, it can come up and say, hey, Neil, or whatever your name is, Joe Blogs has done this, and they've got a certain amount of points now, which indicates to you that they've been conducting a lot of activity around your emails and your website, and it'll tell you to give them a call. Okay, follow them up. Or you can automate another email saying, hey, we noticed you've been doing a few things. Would you like to book an appointment with us? Or, let's have a call, or whatever you want to do to establish contact with them. Third point here is set up scripts in both the written and verbal form for team members involved in sales. So now look, now you've got to have a sales system to convert leads to prospects and also prospects to customers. So now you should have written scripts for that. So it's a tested routine that works. So including lists like how to overcome objections and things you want to cover off. So things that you want all your sales team members to actually say, people who are involved in sales, to say and ask your prospects, so you get that systematic consistency in your business. Now, do you think if we were doing those 3 examples there, do you think we can boost our conversion rate by 10%? Now, this is a trick question, because we're not talking about here going from 25 to 35%. We're talking about going a 10% gain on the 25%, which is an extra 2.5%. So going from 25% just to 27.5%. Do you think we can do that if we applied 3 strategies during the year? So if you think about that, that's it's quite simple to do. Now, if you combine those 2 leads there, the number of leads now times your conversion rate of 27.5%, you can see your number of prospects have suddenly jumped from 1,000 in the existing formula to 1,210 in the new formula by working on those 2 different areas. Okay, so moving on. So let's look at ways of boosting conversion rate from prospects, so converting prospects to customers. So here's 3 other examples. So have a product service guarantee. Ensure they are used in your marketing and sales pipeline. So it just amazes me how many people have warranties and guarantees, and yet they use it after the fact, after a sale was made. But look, a warranty and a guarantee is a marketing and sales tool. You may need to make sure your customers are aware of your warranties and your guarantees before they buy, not after. So make sure they are aware of all these things before they buy, to help instill confidence in what you're offering. Ensure your communication focus on products and services, benefits, and not just features. So look, you've got to make sure you focus on the emotional benefits that your customer gets from purchasing your products and services. So you need to do a total review on how you're communicating that to your customers, and rewrite and redesign that sort of stuff, whether you do that yourself or have a copywriter do it. But look, your products very well. You just got to go through the features and benefits exercise, which we do with all our coaching clients over a period of time. So if you did that and you focus more on the emotional features, because people buy an emotion and justify it with logic and understand. So as an example, people who want to buy a painting hanging set, you put a nail on the wall and all the rest of it, they're not, they don't want to, even though they want to, a little contraption which allows you to, with a hook and a nail, so they want to put that on the wall. What they want is they want their living room looking nice. Okay, they want their picture or their mirror or whatever it is. They want that hanging up on the wall so they can use it. Okay, so they're not interested in the product, it's what it delivers. So think about that as an example of what is your products and services really delivering for your customers. So third point here, map your sales pipeline and measure your conversion rates, your results, and the speed to get through the pipeline per lead source and per team member. Okay, so there's some critical numbers in here that allow you to actually, when you start reviewing these numbers, when you focus on these, suddenly the numbers will improve. Okay, because as you focus on the numbers, you're now empowering yourself to think of ways of improving that. So you think if we did those three things in this business here, we could actually boost our conversion rate again by 10%. So again, it's going from 25% to 27.5%. And when we do that, you can see here that the number of prospects goes up from 1,210, so times that by a 27.5% conversion rate, and your number of customers are now 333. So that's an increase from 250 to 333. So you can start to see how this compounding business growth formula compounds. Okay, so now look, point I want to make here, that 250 to 333, that's not just a 10% increase, is it? Okay, so we're getting a compounding effect from each of the 10% gains. This is a very magical formula when you use it. Okay, so let's talk about areas of improving our average value sale. So now look, increase your prices annually or sooner if your cost rises. Sorry, there's a wee typo there. Every year, put your price up. I don't know whether it's 2% or 10% or 15%. I'm flabbergasted as to the number of business owners I speak to say, when was the last time you put your price up? And they say, 2 or 3 years ago. Come on. You know, look, we're all customers here. We're all consumers. We all buy things. We all expect price increases. You know, the person that has the biggest concern about putting their prices up in a business is always the owner. It's never the customers. Now, if any of your customers complain about it, they're C and D class customers anyway. So now the only time I'm going to complain about it is if your niche in the market, if your USP is that you're the low cost, the lowest cost, I still want you to review it anyway. I want you to review your prices in comparison with your competitors and see if you have any scope for price increases there. Install a checklist for products and services to upsell. So, look, when someone comes and buys something from you, have a checklist saying, oh, look, thanks very much for buying, you know, this particular product or service today. If it's okay with you, we just want to go through a quick checklist to make sure you have everything you need. So, you know, and that's what else do they need? So, you know, as an example, retail store, if someone was going in and they're buying paintbrushes, you know, do they have the drop sheets they need? Do they have, you know, all the materials they need to clean the brushes? Do they need a roller that goes with it as well? Do they need a smaller brush and a larger brush depending on the little angles? All these sort of things you can do for a checklist for your particular product or service to make sure your customer has everything they need and give you upsell options there. Offer product and service bundles. So look, what we're saying there is that, you know, bundle your products and service together so you're selling more, okay, and therefore charging more, which increases your average value sale. Okay, so put two products together. You might charge a little bit less for the two products together rather than if you sold them individually. Okay, so that's not discounting, it is value adding, but it is bundling, but it's allowing you to charge more and it will increase your overall profitability. Okay. Right, so do you think if we increase those three strategies there in a business, we could increase the average value sale from £100 to £110? Yes, we can. I've done it with hundreds of businesses over the years, so this formula works a treat. Rightio, so how do we move on to improving number of transactions per customer every year? So look, this is an annual number of transactions per year, remember? So we want help clients conduct the client's need audit for upselling opportunities. So, you know, if you think about all the things you sell, does your customer, are they aware of all the things you sell? And also, are you aware of all the things your customer does? So, you know, you could have things that could be benefiting your business customers that you're not aware of. So it's pays to sit down and do an audit with them and just look at the upsell opportunities there. Okay, run a VIP and membership program and conduct things like closed door sales. Okay, so now if you do that sort of stuff, you're going to get customers coming back to you to buy more by having that membership program, including loyalty schemes and a range of other things as well. And that's the third point there, which is offer the loyalty schemes and things like products of the week and products of the month where you have specials as far as that goes. So you think we do those three strategies in this business here, we can increase the number of transactions by 10%, which is taking it from 4 to 4.4. Now look, when we do that, you look at the maths here from the number of customers for 333 times an average value sale of 110 times an average number of transactions per year of 4.4 times a year, your revenue suddenly go from £100,000 to £161,000, 172 pence. So that's not a 10% increase, is it? Okay, yet we're doing 10% gains across the board. Okay, we've suddenly got a 61% increase in our revenues during the year by making sure we are focusing on strategies in each of those 5 different blue areas that comes before the annual sales revenues. Absolutely vital we do this. Okay, moving on. So how do we improve gross margin? So there's 3 things we can do here. So there's lots of different strategies, but the 3 strategies I'm going to show you here is we want to set and maintain minimum gross margin targets. So look, you've got to know what your gross margin targets are. So now look, traditionally it's been a third and a third and a third. So a third is your cost of goods sold, which is gross profit. Okay, a third is your operating expenses, and a third should be profitabilities. Now, it's different for different industries. Some industries have much lower levels of profit. You know, some industries, if you're getting a 15% profit margin, you're going to get lots of competitors entering that market. They deem that as lucrative. Other businesses have a much higher profit margin than 30%. So just really depends on the industry. But you need to understand what your margins are. And in this case, your gross margins, so have the minimum targets for that, so you're maintaining your level of gross profit so that you can maximize your chance of making more net profit later on in the year. Okay, so no discounting, value add only. So think of ways you can value add. Okay, so whether it's an extra service provided, you know things that you're doing, do not discount, do not give away profit. It's cash. So look, if you're any pounds or pence you're giving away, that's net profit you're giving away to your customers. Don't do it. Okay, no discounting, value add only. Review supplier pricing often, minimum annually, preferably every 6 months or so, or even quarterly, depending on what industry you're in. But review the suppliers' prices often. Now, look, I've got a magic letter I send out to people. I use it for suppliers to get them to review their pricing every year by offering an annual contract with them, and it can save you a lot of money. Okay, so there's other things we can do there as well for gross margins. So, as an example, your suppliers will have a marketing budget. So, have you spoken to them about a marketing budget? And can they supply you with some of that stuff for your marketing? Okay, so to promote your products and services, and even some free samples, etc., to help you do those as well, so you can sell those on and increase your gross margins that way as well. So look, if you think you did those 3 things there in this example for the business, do you think we can increase our gross margins by 10%? In other words, from 65% to 71.5%. So we want to increase our gross margin there by 6.5%. So now that would take your gross profit then from 65,000 up to 120,879. Okay, so you take your revenues of 161, 172, times that by the 71.5% gross margin, which gives us a gross profit level of £120,879. So moving on to the next one, net margin strategies. So what are some of the net margin strategies you could do? So again, there's dozens of these. So set and maintain minimum net margin targets. Set a target of what you want it to be. So you're looking to improve it year on year or quarter on quarter, etc., etc. Team remuneration. I'm a big fan of giving team base salaries plus profit share. I know that it's challenging in some industries to do that, but if you can cap their salary at some stage and say, look, the business will pay you more as you make more profit, as we make more profit. It just teaches your team to be lean and mean. If your team are getting paid a salary and they're giving away stuff, it doesn't hurt them at all. Okay, so. You want them to make more sales, but you want them to realise that there's a business here, and it's got to be cash flowed, it's got to be funded, and we want if they're helping you make more profit, why wouldn't you share that extra profit with with your team? Okay, and I'm not saying equally share it, but do a profit share. So as an example, in my business, I have a 20% profit share on my scheme. So every quarter, 20% of the profit goes back to the team. The other 80% is invested in other things. I've got 2 other schemes. I've got a business investment scheme, and 40% of the profit comes to me. Okay, so there's ways of doing this. So I'm helping you grow your business. Just think about the culture you want to set up and the ways of improving your net margin. Know your actual costs and review them often. So minimum every 6 months, preferably quarterly. So I'm talking about your costs like your rent, your rates, electricity, internet, admin costs, fuel bills, all those sort of things. So all your costs, look for ways of working smarter and saving some money on those things to improve your net margins in your business. Now, do you think if we reviewed those 3 key areas there, we can boost our net margins by 10%, which again is going from 30% to 33% here on this slide here. So you take your gross profits of £120,879, you times that by your net profit margin of 33%, and that means your net profits go from 19,500 up to 39,890. Now again, that's not a 10% gain, is it? You've more than doubled. Okay, you've more than doubled your profitability. Now look, what I will tell you is that when you're doing these 10% gains here, even though the formula here is simply mathematical, your net margin growth, your profitability normally goes way, way higher than that, goes through the roof, because you're becoming more efficient. Once you get your business above break even, you got all your costs sold, every sale you're making on top of that really starts boosting your net profitability considerably. Okay, so it's not necessarily a 10% gain, it's normally a lot higher than that. So that's the formula there. So let's give you some examples on what we can do with this. So, for year one, if I just go back a slide here, so those two figures there, so your revenues go from £100,000 to 161,172. Your gross profits go from 65,000 to 120,879, and your net profits go from 19,500 to 39,890. So look, this jump in revenues is a 61% increase in profit, and this jump in net profitability is a massive growth. It's a 104% increase in profitability. That's huge. By simply doing things differently in your business and managing each of these areas in here. Now look, we haven't even really covered off monetary conversion strategies at the moment. So if you focus on the first 7 blue areas in there, you too can achieve these gains in your business. So let's talk about monetary conversion now. So this is turning profit into cash. Now I'm not really going to show you the numbers for this today, because there's so many different things that factor into this, but we work very closely with your accountant on this sort of stuff with you as well. So look, now some things here I will talk about, some monetary conversion strategies straight away is pay yourself the tax-free allowance, then dividends. Okay, so now I know it varies whether you're self-employed or running a company, etc. But and I also know it depends on your own personal situation. What your wife does. Is she in the business, or your partner, or your husband, or whatever it is for you? Okay, are they in the business as well? Maybe they're working, but you still want to do some profit share with them, make them a director of the company if it's more tax efficient. Because once you get above the higher tax threshold, rather than you being there and your partner not being there, you might share some shares with them and save some tax that way. So there's lots of different ways of doing this to save, to turn more profit into cash. Okay, so but seeking advice from an accountant in regards to that areas. In many cases actually, where possible, put costs through the business to save sales and corporation tax. Now look, this is one of the perks of being a business owner. And what I mean by that is that, look, if you're going on a trip somewhere, then there's ways of you, legal ways of you making this a business trip, so that you do some business planning over there. If you're taking if your partner is a director in the thing, you can go and do some strategic planning somewhere, and you've suddenly got a tax deductible trip for a lot of things. So and you can claim the sales tax back on that. So if you're paying GST or VAT or whatever the sales tax is for you in your country, then you can claim that back when you suddenly make this a business expense. So now look, there's a fine balance for this, because look, if you put too much through your business, you're going to massively drop down your profitability. But there are perks on this to save some money and get some extra cash out of the business by making sure that the business covers the cost rather than you pay it through your hard-earned money that you've already paid tax on. Okay, so any money you spend, any of your personal money you spend, remember you've paid PAYE on that, or dividend, or dividends tax on that to use that money. Whereas if you put it through your business, none of those taxes are paid yet, and if you do pay sales tax, you get that back through the government if you're sales tax registered. Okay, so there are some pros there on that. The third point here is use government pension investment schemes wisely when you're taking your cash out of your business. So you've got investment schemes for your pension schemes. You've got schemes for investing in your own properties, your own commercial property. If you're renting commercial property, at some stage we'll pay for you to invest in your own one and put that into your own pension fund. And there's lots of ways of doing that as well. So there's a bunch of different things, a monetary conversion strategy you can use for converting profit into cash. So that's enough about that today in that example. Okay, so look, this compounding effect I've talked to you about with the eight formulas in there does not happen by magic. So look, you need a structure and a framework to focus on it. So, because look, it's all very well, what I find is most business owners, when I'm speaking to them, normally I'm focusing on only 2 or 3 of those 7 areas I covered off with the numbers there down to the net profitability. Okay, so now by only focusing on 2 or 3 of the areas, and I'll show you an example soon, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're leaving a lot of compounding interest from that formula kicking in, and you're leaving thousands and thousands of dollars, pounds, euros on the table because you're not organised enough to actually plan this stuff out to make sure you're applying strategies in each of these areas throughout the year. Okay, so you need a plan to implement throughout the year these strategies in your business, and you need the right focus, rhythm, and pace in your business. Now, we do that through our coaching programs. We're meeting either weekly or fortnightly with you, and we're making sure you're focusing on the right strategies, and we're getting a spread across the board on this sort of stuff to make sure that you are applying strategies in each of these areas to have this compounding effect kicking in. So look, let me just show you the opportunity cost of you not doing this properly. So look, the first column here, this column here, is the original figures we showed you for the business. This is the year one figures we showed you on the third column here of the company with the gains we ran you through the exercise just a minute ago. So let's just say if you're a business owner and you're only focusing on 3 areas, so you see the 3 red areas: number of leads, average value sale, and net margins. Let's just say you're working on strategies and increasing the number of leads. You're working on a couple of strategies to increase your average value sale, and you're working on strategies to increase your net margin. So you're making the gains, the 10% gains in each of those areas from the original forecast. Now, these other ones, though, where it says in the red areas beside them, the areas you're not working on, okay? So look, so conversion rate, you haven't increased your conversion rate of leads, you haven't worked on that. You haven't worked on conversion rate here from prospects to customers, you haven't worked on that. You haven't worked on number of transactions, increasing the number of transactions per customer. You haven't worked on improving your gross margins during the year. Okay, so now just by missing out on those 4 areas there, what this means is that, and look, you can stop the video here and calculate these yourself if you want to check it out, but the numbers don't tell any lies here. So this means by not focusing on both areas, you get 110 fewer leads in this case. Okay, so 110 fewer prospects, sorry. Okay, you still get your 4,400 leads, but you didn't boost your conversion rate, so you've only got 1,100 prospects here, which is 110 fewer from the 1,210 you would have had if you'd boosted your conversion rate. Okay, so now you're not working on your conversion rate, so you've got also get 58 fewer customers. So your customer numbers still go up because you've boosted your number of leads, but your conversion rates have stayed the same. So 58 fewer customers from that if you'd worked on the conversion ratios as well. Now, your average value sale has gone up by 10, but your average number of transactions hasn't gone up. So that means that your sales still goes, your annual revenue still increases from £100,000 to £121,000, but it's £40,172 less than what it would have been if you'd worked on all the areas that I talked about earlier. Okay, so again, you've missed out on 3 important areas you haven't worked out on, and it's cost you over 40 grand in this example. This is expensive. The opportunity cost is massive for you not doing this. So now look, I want you to start cringing here. I really do want you to start cringing, because I know that most of you watching this video, you're not working on all these areas in your business. I know that for a fact. So think about how many thousands of pounds or dollars or euros you're leaving on the table because you're not kicking in the compounding effect from this magic formula to help you grow your business. Okay, so and look, the same thing goes here with the gross margins. Again, your gross margin, your gross profit still goes up, but is 42,229 less than what it would have been if you covered off all the areas. And again, your net profitability, it goes up again, but it's 14,000 less. So over £1,000 a month. I mean, that's a great holiday somewhere. What can you do with 14,000 in this case pounds? 14,000 pounds for extra in the year, and net profitability will buy you a lot. That's a lot into your pension fund. It's a lot into your profit. Into your commercial profit property. That's a lot into whatever you're doing to investing your profitability during the year. Just because you haven't been organised enough to affect this compounding effect. So I hope that's really hit home. So what happens if we implement the compounding business growth formula year on year? I've showed you the opportunity cost of not doing it. So what happens if you do it year on year on year? So let's have a little bit of fun with this. So look, you can see after year 1 here what those numbers were I told you about. So it was 161, 39,000 profit. So let's just say we worked on a 10% increase in each of these areas again year on year. Now there is one caveat here. I'm not going to increase your gross margins here. I'm going to leave it at 71% for this example, because there's only so much you can cut on your cost of goods sold. Okay, so I'm going to say that you're not making any more gains after year 1 on that, but all the other areas we certainly can improve on. So look, you can see here the numbers suddenly go massively again. So in year 2, your numbers go from 161,172 in revenues to £259,438. Your profitability goes from 39,890 to 67,335. This is all from just focusing on those 7 different areas there, making sure we've got strategies in place. So that's in year 2. So during year 2, by applying strategies across the 7 different areas, you're going to get a massive 159% increase in revenues and a massive 345% increase in profitability. 345% increase in profitability based on the year 1 example. So within 2 years, you've grown your revenue and your profitability by that much in just 2 years. Incredible. So let's talk about year 3. We do the same thing year 3 again. We're going to leave the gross margin the same. And again, we see the revenues have jumped up from 259,438 to 416,752, and from 67,335 to 118,982. Now, that is year 3 is a massive 416% increase in revenue and a totally massive 610% increase in profitability on year 1. So that's in 3 years. That's in, 3 years from the starting out, you've boosted it by these numbers. You might be sitting there saying, well, is that really possible in my business? Richard Branson says it best. More autonomy and choice in life comes from learning how to grow a business. Once you've grown at least one business, then you have more options. Now, like we all know that he's on his island. He's got lots of different virgin businesses there. And Richard Branson was dyslexic. He dropped out from school. He just started to grow things. So now I don't know where you are in life. You might not have the advantage of starting off at the age he started off at. But even if you're in my age now, there's no reason why you can't start making a change in your business today, even in the next 2 years, to significantly increasing the profitability and revenues within your business if you're prepared to learn how to grow it properly. So look, to apply this compounding formula, it requires the planning of strategies to grow and automate to thrive. So as I said to you, it doesn't happen by magic. Rightio. So to successfully apply these strategies, we need to do these 3 key areas. You have to develop better levels of daily disciplines. Okay, so it's about planning your business correctly. A business coach is always an advantage. Okay, here to hold you accountable to do tasks. So I get all my clients to focus on daily planning, weekly planning, monthly planning, quarterly planning, annual planning. You get a planning process in place. Now, daily planning takes 10-15 minutes. That's all it takes. But it's a discipline. And it is a skill as well, but it's mainly a discipline you get into. It's a routine to get the right rhythm and pace in your business so you're focusing on the right things each and every day. You must take control of your business by planning your business development. Okay, invest 5 hours each week on working on your business. Now, when I say invest 5 hours each week, that is, it doesn't have to be just you. It might be another team member. You might be sharing that 5 hours. But if you're working on your business development for just 5 hours a week in your business within your team, you will get these sort of magnificent results if you've got the right focus. And finally, the more you practice doing this, success comes much faster on a compounding scale. And look, I've shown you the compounding scale. The numbers stack up for themselves. Numbers don't lie to you. Just check out the maths yourself and see if it's the right thing for you. So let me ask you a question. Thinking about the compounding formula, what are your 1-year goals? I want you to stop and think about what are your goals for the next year. I want you to have at least 3 big goals. What are they? So stop the video here. Write down your 3 goals. Also, which areas of this formula do you need to focus on? So think about that. So what are you currently focusing on? What do you think you're focusing on? What do you need to focus on? And are you currently measuring any of these areas? Okay, so you must measure them all. Okay, and we can help you with that. We can show you how to do that. It's very easy to do. Combination of using your accounts and your CRM system that you use, or counting your leads manually. If you need to start somewhere doing that, then you can do that. So I just want to point out here that LibAbun will give you access to hundreds of success principles, strategies, and trainings that work. We know that. It's a common sense approach to growing your business. But for these to work, you have to commit to study and apply the skills of entrepreneurship. Okay, now look, this is, when I say entrepreneurship, I'm not, saying you're going to become a big magnet, with a major corporation. You might want to have that ambition. That's something you might want to do. But look, if you want to stay small and you want to stay, if you want to just stay self-employed as an example, even at the lowest end, but you want to learn how to work smarter and harder and grow your business using the compounding formula, well, you can do that as well. I have a great program called LibAbun, Ben, which will help you do that, specifically for self-employed and small businesses with less than 3 team members. So, but you've got to study the skills of entrepreneurship. Jim Collins says it best with his book, Good to Great. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. So, it's about making things non-negotiable. You're going to have to learn this stuff. Apply it into your business. Get focused on the strategies you need to apply in your business and make sure they happen. That is a conscious choice and discipline. Your dreams can and do come true. Okay, but some things have to happen for that to happen. So start thinking like an entrepreneur. Start using the growth formula. What is your plan for your future? Do you have one? Okay, have you got a plan? You know, the sad fact and sad state of affairs, and I've said this in many other webinars and seminars, you know, most small business owners invest more time planning their holidays than they do planning their business. It's true, and it's sad, I know, but it's true. Okay, so, and second, you've got to change the way you do things now. Okay, so, you know, remember I said at the beginning of the webinar, for things to change, first I must change. Okay, so, you know, what are you doing to change? Who are you working with to change? You know, people like me will help you make those changes so you can grow your business. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. To think you can just work harder in your business and not change things and getting a different outcome, well, that's just almost the definition of insanity, isn't it? So, you know, hold on to your dreams. They're real, okay? But you've got to be working towards them each and every day in some way, shape or form. Okay, so look, there's two directions you can go from here. You're going to try and grow your business yourself and say, thanks for this, Neil, but I'm going to try and grow myself, but you'll probably end up staying the same. Or you're interested in making a real change and want to know your options on how to take things forward. Let's book a business growth audit so that we can both sit down and assess with you the business growth opportunities in your business. So now, depending on the size, we'll do different things with you, depending on the size of your company. Now, from there, if we both see benefit in working together, we'll discuss the best program for you. Now, look, that business growth audit is designed for, one, you to see the opportunities of growth in your business, and two, I'm checking out you and your commitment to actually making the change, and you're checking out me and my, you know, credibility and competency and stuff as well. So, and also I'm looking at the growth opportunities because for all my customers, I offer them a guarantee, a 26-week guarantee, where I guarantee to increase their monthly gross profits by more than their monthly investment in the coaching program they're on with me. And if we haven't achieved that inside 26 weeks, then my services are free after that until we've achieved it. So, you know, but it does take work and does take time. So I have 3 different coaching programs depending on what size business you are. First one is the LibAbun group, typically for self-employed people or small businesses with 3 or less staff that are doing revenues of under £100,000 in revenue. Okay, so £100,000. So if you're in a country with dollars or euros, then it'll be a little bit more than that. You do the conversion. Okay, so typically for businesses with 4 to 8 staff and sales revenues of between £100,000 and £300,000, then I put them on the Step Up Coaching Program, which is more of a one-to-one program. You know, we focus specifically there on your issues there. And then for businesses with 9 or more staff or sales revenue over $300,000, there's the one-on-one business coaching program. Okay, so so it all starts with, though, doing a business growth audit with me. And then if after that we can both see value in working together and I can see that I can offer you the gains and I can achieve this result for you inside the 26 weeks, then I will offer to work with you, okay? As long as I believe you're committed to making a change. Now, I'm pretty certain that is the case for you because you're on this webinar now, and if you're doing an audit with me, then you are looking for ways to grow. But we've got to have that chemistry as well. Look, you know, you saw on the slides I'm ex-military. I tell people the hard, cold, honest truth. I call a spade a spade. I'm very direct with people as far as that goes. I mean, I'm always nice. I'm very polite and respectful, but I will tell you the truth and I'll hold the mirror up to you. And if you're doing some dumb things, I'll speak to you about that. Okay, so I won't say that's dumb. I'll just say, do you think that's the right thing for you? Don't you? So have that conversation. You know, that's what you need in a coach, isn't it? Okay, so look, the best way for me to help you is to show you how I can help you. Okay, so let's get on there and do those business growth audits. So let's get started, you know, and let's get 100% committed. So engineer a plan for a better future, plan to engineer a better business. I'll say that again. For you to engineer a plan for a better future, plan to engineer a better business. So click on the button linked to this video, book your business growth audit with me. Let's get together. Now, if you're not in my local area, we'll do the growth audit online. We do it through Zoom or telephone calls, or we hook up in some way, shape or form to go through and do the business growth audit with you to see what can be done for you, to see if we can help you. Thanks very much for your time today. Have a fantastic and profitable day. Why would you choose to make it anything else?